Hey guys. Can you hear me? Yeah? Okay. Hey. Thank you guys for coming. I guess while we wait for a few more people, we just kind of introduce this new project that we decided to do. And basically, it's the series is called Shabab Talk, and every month, the idea is to bring up a new topic of conversation that is prominent in our society. And so, whatever it is, if people want to talk about a certain thing that's in just trending on Twitter, if there's something that we see that we think it's kind of boiling in our blood or whatever it is, each month is a different topic that we can all come together to decide on. So this month, subhanAllah, we had a whole nother topic planned. Sure. We had a whole nother, we were gonna go with a whole different route. But then afterwards we saw, this was in the beginning of the whole revolution that was starting and everything.
Snowballing, yeah.
Yeah, and that was at that point, it was snowballing. And so then we were like, okay, no, we'll put that topic on hold and we'll go with this one, because this one I feel like is hitting people from around the world, and this time I feel like the Shabab are playing a much bigger role than all the other ones. So we decided to just kind of have a Shabab talk. It's very informal, like it's nothing to, it's free admission, there's coffee, there's whatever, like it's nothing to profit off of, this is nothing to do anything for, it's just to bring in Nas Ma'abad and just to talk about things that we all want to talk about. And yeah, so this topic, I think this topic, the age of revolution in Sudan, is one that is, I think, really important to all of us, because we all love Sudan, I'm sure we do, especially this one, seeing how he just came back. Maybe he can share his stories by then. But yeah, again, as we wait for people, I don't know, maybe we can just do a very informal kind of, I don't know, do you guys want to introduce yourselves, or do you guys want to share stories, or whatever you want to do. I know there's more people coming, it's just obviously Sudani timing. But until then, I don't know, whatever you guys want to do, if you guys want to start right ahead. I feel bad for the people that actually do come on time, so I want to give you guys the floor and the opportunity to tell me what you guys want, and we can go from there. But,
hello?
Yeah, mic check, why not?
What's up, guys? I'm Husham, I'm from Welland. This is my first time being in the Shabab Talk here.
Welcome.
With everybody. Thank you. And yeah, I thought I would come because, it's a very important topic, I think, and not a lot of people are talking about it. So, when Mahideen gave me the call and told me people are going to get together and discuss, I thought so. And I haven't seen my man Ahmed here in like 10 years, so that was a good chance. So, yeah, glad to be here.
Thank you.
Nice. Okay, so, my name is Ahmed. I recently just came from Sudan yesterday. I don't know what to tell you guys, to be honest.
welcome back.
Thank you. Had a really amazing time, especially for someone that hasn't been to Sudan for like 10 years.
And what was the purpose of your travel to Sudan?
Weddings.
Nice.
Wedding and vacation.
Not revolution?
No, it actually wasn't.
Nice.
But after going there, seeing like the lifestyle for some people, opens your eyes, especially if you're far away, because like we literally have two different lifestyles here and there for some people. So especially, and then you go to like how like you go get food and then you realize like for them and how expensive it is for them and stuff, and you do the math. For us, it's not really expensive, for them it is. So like, and then people tell you how like the money changed, like Aisha Wahdi's like cost like alf. Before it used to be like alf can get you like 20 Aisha or something like that, or shit that like, or whatever it was. But now it's like, like it's expensive. So I don't know what to tell you, like. You want to talk wedding, bro? Damn.
I don't know why we're using mics.
Oh, just pull it out, man. I mean, take it off the stand then,
Yeah, Mustafa. So I haven't been to Sudan in a while either. It's been about 10 years for me too. So I want to go back like really badly, especially now that my dad's out there. He's gonna be out there for a while. So, but I still gotta finish school, so I'm planning to go out there in the next year, inshallah. And especially with what's going on out there, like, I'm trying to keep up with it as much as possible. But it would be a really good experience to go see that, because at the end of the day, like, we're Sudanese Canadian, but we're Sudanese first. So, and it's obviously really important. So Yeah, that's why I'm really glad that we're coming together and having these talks, and I look forward to more of them.
It's been almost 20 years for me.
Over you.
20 years. 20 years.
Since 2000.
I'll finish it off بعدين مع سيد. Go ahead.
Don't feel bad. Yeah, I remember a lot.
السلام عليكم. أنا اسمي مروان ديرار. نشكر جميع الناس اللي شاركونا بالأفكار بتاعتهم بتاعت شباب توك، وإن شاء الله يكون مشروع ناجح جدا جدا، بأنه يجي يناقشوا مشاريع كل الأفكار الشبابية. وفعلا قصة حزينة اللي بيحصل في السودان يعني، لكن نتمنى إن شاء الله بأنه ربنا ينصر إرادة الشعب كده إن شاء الله.
So I'm Alaz. Last time I went to Sudan was 2015. I have all my family out there, and just hearing like what's been going on and like in the news, just hearing it from the news, hearing it from my mom, hearing my mom talk to my family back home in Sudan on the phone. It hurts me. Like I feel for them deeply. And I know that like the older generation, like we're the younger generation, but so we are the ones that have to try to make a change, because at the end of the day we're the future for Sudan. But just seeing like the older generation, like that's their country, and like before they like, you know, like they're getting older, before like anything happens, they want to see their country free, and like I know we all do too. So.
Thank you.
السلام عليكم. اسمي حباب. جيت من نياجرا فولز مع الأستاذة والأستاذة آية وأسير. عجبتني فكرة الشباب توك، يعني البرنامج، وحبيت يعني دائما بقول إنه الشباب في كندا يعني بتلقى كلنا أوكي سودانيين بنتلاقى في اللمات وأي حاجة، لكن بس كل السلام عليكم كيف تمام وخلاص. لكن إنه فكرة إنه الناس تتلمى والناس تتكلم مع بعض والناس تعرف بعض، يعني بالذات قصة الحاصل في السودان هسه الأيامات دي، وإنه الناس الشباب السوداني هنا to get involved، دي كانت بالنسبة لي حاجة كده I don't know. يعني I felt relieved إنه الناس they care about what's happening back home. ولغاية امبارح أسيد بتقول لي أوكي حتمشي ما حتمشي البرنامج ده، لغاية كده شوية يعني 200 قلت لك أوكي أنا حمشي. أنا صحت أوكي أسيد خلاص أنا ماشية. it's a very good idea. وإن شاء الله اللمات الجاية والشهور الجاية البرامج تكون الناس أكتر و well done.
Assalamu alaikum. أنا آية, and I like the idea of this like Shabab Talk that's happening, because it gets us educated on what's happening in Sudan, because like we don't really, like people my age, we don't really talk about it as much, since I haven't gone to Sudan like 2 years, which isn't that bad, like I still don't know what's happening, so I really like that idea.
I think it's more than
2016.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah, I like the idea.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum. أنا اسمي أسيل. As you guys saw in the past, like protests that we had هنا في Canada, I was in the one in Toronto and in Hamilton. أول حاجة داير أقول إنه زي ما حباب قالت، أنا متخيلت إنه الناس السودانيين هنا أول حاجة بالكمية اللي أنا شفتها وإنه متعاونين للدرجة دي. Like there's one thing we always know in the Sudanese, they're always united, no matter where they are. Sudanese people are always like together, they like to be there for each other. And then like we're all like one, we're all united at the end of the day. For seeing everybody there, it really warmed my heart. I was very happy. I felt more home. I didn't feel like I was في Canada. You know, I felt like I'm just around my people. It was a great time. And لما مشيت لبتاعت Hamilton, that's when I heard from Mahideen about the Shabab Talk, and that was great طبعا لأنه I don't know if you guys remember the last open mic thing that Sarah and I tried to do. It went well, alhamdulillah, and there is supposed to be another one, but I think the Shabab Talk should cover that and should educate us more, like all of you guys said, about what's going on back home, especially right now. We're losing a lot of people, a lot of like siblings, relatives, all that. So to just show our support mentally and just raising awareness هنا is the least we can do, since we can't really do anything not being back home and stuff like that. فربنا إن شاء الله يصبر جميع الناس والنصر للجميع إن شاء الله جاي قريب. I did not state that sentence right, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. hashtag تصفق بس.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you so much for attending a Shabab Talk. It was an idea, and hopefully it will pay up dividends down the road. All I'm going to say is do not underestimate the power of youth, especially the Sudanese Canadian. There's a lot on our shoulder. One thing I'm going to emphasize is, as Asil said, I mean, we're Sudanese, we stay connected in different ways. But when it comes to Jalia or Rabta, we need the youth to get more involved. The older generation, it's older for a reason, and they're aging. It's up to us. We are no longer a new community in Canada. We've been here for 20 plus years, I guess. So it's up to us to start producing leaders to speak on our behalf. And for that reason, became the idea of Shabab Talk. This is the first one, inshallah. So far we have, I'm gonna say 9 of us here. Hopefully down the road, we're gonna have 1,000, it will be documented, and inshallah it will become a wish. So we truly encourage all the youth to come out, stay active, stay engaged. You never know. Word of mouth could encourage someone, could turn someone's future, could just inspire someone. We have a lot of stories to share, so please stay connected, help a brother out, and as the African old saying says, it takes a whole village to raise a child. So we truly need your help. We have a lot of young youth or kids growing up here they need our mentor, and that's where we come in. So please give a hand, and united to stand for sure. Assalamu alaikum. All the best to you.
In one word, I kind of want to ask everyone, one word, if you could explain to me what this whole revolution means to you in just one word. Like, are you happy? Are you scared? Are you excited? If you could feeling? Yeah, just like a feeling or anything that the first thing that comes to your mind when I say the current Sudanese revolution. Like, what's the first word that comes to your mind? Like, we can just go through.
It's mixed emotions, but I'd say I'm mostly proud that people finally got out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm proud.
Nervous?
Nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's freedom.
I'd say, I'd say proud.
Proud,
Yeah.
Freedom.
Freedom.
Yeah.
I would say it's overdue.
Overdue. Okay. How about? Freedom. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same.
Freedom. Yeah.
I was thinking about overdue for sure.
Overdue. Yeah.
It's definitely time for a new phase, new structure.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the side of nervous.
Yeah.
My whole spectrum is I'm so excited. This is overdue. I'm proud, but at the same time, we've seen time and time again of what this could be and the potential catastrophe that can happen. Inshallah, never even gets to that.
We saw it before, right? What was it, 2013?
Similar to
it's
this.
Not as,
it never got to this magnitude.
It's not as big. Yeah.
It never reached this magnitude. And no, continue. Sorry, what were you saying?
Like, I mean, we saw it like 2013, right, or something like that. But like, it ended quick time.
Yeah.
Right. For this, like, is it gonna end differently, or is it gonna be the same as current as all the time, like every single
I feel
time.
like
Really?
from both ends, like الشعب والحكومة, they're both like saying it's not gonna end. الشعب is like, we're not gonna stop till we get what we want and what we deserve. And الحكومة is like, we're not gonna stop till everybody's dead or until everybody stops. That like we're just gonna keep retaliating. That's it. So it's like, it's good that this is happening. Innu Shab does not want to back down and still is fighting. But at the same time, this is where I say it's mixed emotions for me, because like at the same time it's like enough with the killing, enough with like, again this takes me back to like لما أقول لك يعني أنا when I grew up in Sudan, I got to know إنه مثلا everybody is united. That's the one thing I knew. ما في زول تشاكل مع أخوه مع جيرانه مع ناسه. So how are you doing that to your own people? That's the question I keep asking myself. How do you go sleep at night knowing إنه that may be your neighbor, that may be your cousin, that may be your someone you know, and you're still killing them, you know?
That's the thing, like before all the Sudani people were united, and now it's different. Like now people are against each other, so you don't know who to trust. So you don't know, like, if I trust this person, like, he might come in your house and just don't even trust and he can just kill you. You know what I mean? Nowadays, like, everything is, like, you don't know who to trust, who not to trust. Before, like you said, everything is united. Like, you can trust this person in your life, but now can you really trust that person?
I feel like though the lack of trust comes from the lack of security that people feel in the country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it comes from this,
yeah.
they don't feel protected by their own government in which, or their own police force or their own military in which they are there, they're an institution to protect you. So then everyone's kind of like on edge and no one's kind of, I feel like it's just this
If like my main source of protection is not protected,
exactly.
who else is
who
doing
do
it
I
for me?
trust?
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like at this point the reason why I think they won't stop, and I mean I could be wrong, tomorrow they could stop, is you know how whenever you call back home and then like there's okay but you out that night like حالة صعبة, that's like the main line, but I feel like they took the term الحالة صعبة to a whole new dimension, and it's like أخير أنا أموت في الشارع من ما أموت في بيتي, like out of hunger or whatever. So I feel like people have now taken, they're like, okay, I'm either gonna die of hunger in my home, or I might as well just die on the streets as a patriotic person. And I feel like the last few years, I feel like the sense of patriotism, if you ever talk to like someone from Sudan, والله Sudan مرض, like ما أعرف شنو, والله Sudan though Sudan, like there's never any sort of like, it's always negative. Yeah. So it's like some people were thinking like, why would I ever go and risk my life and risk my family's life to go defend a country that I don't even care for? But that there's hope, and unfortunately when you talk to then our parents' generation, the sense of patriotism that they have within them, it's amazing. It's so beautiful to see. And then you see just generations of just a country crumbling to people have like fagadu every sort of patriotic bone in their body, I guess. So that's what's sad about it. But I feel like people have reached a point where it's like al-hala saba is an understatement. Like it's not al-hala saba, it's like al-hala is like impossible. Can't. And my biggest issue with this whole thing is in the beginning when it was the media of them saying, oh, the prices of bread went up and people are revolting.
Yeah.
And I'm like it's not the bread, it's the principle. It's the principle of the cost of living inflating so high that people there's not a middle class anymore, right? For someone who's, I'm very interested in economics, so it's like it's just simple, I feel like the simple formulas to know.
Was like picking and choosing what to focus on, because if you see, I'm pretty sure the majority of us are active on like Facebook and Twitter. You see what's going on, the hashtags, right? They're trending and all that. There's a lot of footage, enough for like news outlets to know that this is what's going on. Yet,
but that's one of the reasons they cancel like all this stuff. Like if you don't have VPN or something, you
but like what I'm saying is that like when that I don't remember what channel it was, when they started talking about how it's just the bread and the gas. By that point, there was already footage out there of what's going on back home. It's enough for you to cover, saying this is what's going on in Sudan. Yet, like I said, people are picking and choosing. This is what we're gonna focus on. لأنه you will end up like touching political territories. If you say this or that, this is what's gonna happen. So people were scared, but
like you know, like people got to a point where they were there.
Yeah.
Like, they actually don't. Like, I was telling this guy, like, this person was saying, like, how, like, he would go outside with protests, and then, like, a couple though, like, you know, it took him, like, he'll go back in the house, like, you know what I mean? And then he'll go out again.
Yeah.
He's like, he's like, yo, it's like,
There's
I'm gonna die or,
Yeah.
you know, this is it, like, that's it.
Yeah.
It's like, just hearing, like, seeing that, it's like, really, like, you just, you're putting your life in danger.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, you can do whatever you want to me. Like, you can kill me. Come down to, like, just kill me then.
That's
I'm not
true.
gonna stop.
That's very true. Assalamu alaikum to the people
Alaikum
that's watching.
salam.
Yeah, how are you guys?
Welcome.
Thank you for joining us. Beautiful. Yeah, we're just kind of sharing our reflections, just kind of basic reflections as to what we feel is what's happening to Sudan and stuff. Kind of everyone's just sharing a word or two as to what they feel. Are they feeling scared or nervous? The general consensus is people are feeling that this is an opportunity for freedom, whereas some people are feeling, including myself, are feeling nervous. So yeah, welcome to the talk.
Assalamu alaikum. Ahmed Mubarak, Muhammad Fadl. Resident of Hamilton for the last 5-6 years. Wanted to, yeah. Hi.
Welcome, thank you for joining us.
Ahmed, mashallah, you're a trademark. So.
Huh?
You're a brand name. You don't need an intro, but we're still gonna force you
Man,
to.
stop this. You're just hyping me up. Hi, everybody. My name is Samir. I think I know most of you guys. You know, thanks for having me. I don't know what to say. But yeah, I'm glad that this is happening, and you know, hopefully we can make something happen here and make our voices be heard. You know,
Make a difference.
make a difference, inshallah.
Does anyone have like a close person or something that like has been affected, or you don't have to go too personal though. I don't want, you don't have to share anything that you're not comfortable with, but what are your guys' general, Assalamu alaikum. What is your guys' like general, like when you guys talk to your friends or your family back home, what is the general consensus? Like I have some family that I speak to, they're like, "Ma jami khabar." Like they're not even, they don't even care. They're like, whatever. I'm comfortable in my next position. I'm not gonna put that. I'm not gonna jeopardize that. In which I understand their point of view, because again, like we were talking about, this lack of security, people just need to feed their families, right? And so sometimes you put that first, and I totally get that. And then on the other side, some people I have, friends and family that are so indulged in this. So you get this spectrum of two different.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just want everyone to share, like just free, open mic.
Those people that you talk about that just need to feed their families.
Yeah.
You mean it's like you're trying to say that as a means of justifying their
The lack of
passive?
Yeah, and then when I think about it, I'm like, that's not very sustainable. Because like they can do this for another month or two, and then their job is going to get lost. Because inevitably the economy is going to crumble, and everyone's going to lose their job. Then you're going to be put in the same position.
Like, they are obviously affected as well.
Of course.
But even if they weren't, I mean, like,
yeah,
the way that we aren't, our lives aren't really affected. But like at the end of the day, it takes a certain degree of them. Like they're close to it. They're right there,
right.
And like you have to understand that we're all Sudanese.
Mm-hmm.
These are our people.
Yeah.
And once you have that in your mind, you start to think about what's happening to these our people. And then like after you think about that, it's hard to really be passive.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
it's hard to just shut a blind eye or just say like I'm just worried about because even on just a humanitarian point of view, if you were just to hear about this, if I was hearing about this like as like another country that like I didn't even like know what was going on, and I'm sure a lot of bad things are happening around the world, and for sure a lot of bad things are happening that we don't know of, and that's how it is in the world. Like a lot of people don't really know what's going on in Sudan. So like when I talk to people for the first time, or when I talk to people, they're hearing this stuff for the first time. So educate them and stuff like that. But even if I hear about this from a different country, I would be really concerned. I would be really like, why is this happening? Like, something's wrong.
What's being done about it?
What's being done about it? Like, something just, to me, it irks me just hearing about this stuff. So I can't understand how someone can be just like
in the
passive.
country
Ignorant
while
about
it's
it.
happening.
Yeah.
And yet
Active.
You're
That means you have to be
complete-
actively ignorant
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, that's
Means
true.
like that's a bad
Which is
sign.
even worse.
That's probably the most dangerous thing.
That's true.
The most dangerous thing.
I was telling Sarah before this like started and whatnot, just like a side conversation about how like I saw this like you said, like a spectrum where it's like there are people in weddings, ozone, this restaurant, that restaurant, and then on the other end, some people that I know, some of my friends, relatives that are being shot, they're injured, something is going on, right? And I couldn't fully express how I felt about it, but I just knew that there was anger building up. Like, how do I know you and you're not out there supporting your people, or at least like just sharing, talking about this, raising awareness? And then how are all these other people that I know, you know, out there, you know?
Yeah.
God knows what's going on, and I felt like people are just in denial, but they're not fully in denial, because there's no way you can be fully in denial when you're right there, and if you open باب بيتك you can see what's going on. ما ممكن.
I think it's hard for people to, put themselves in their shoes too. Because like when I tell my friends that aren't from Sudan or something like that, and I tell them like what's going on, and they say like, what's happening in Sudan? I'll say, well, the cost of living, is like getting out of control and stuff. And they'll say like, oh, like that's it, it's like inflation, and stuff. But like when you actually think about it, like what did you say a water bottle costs, when you're there? Like what's that in American or Canadian?
It's like nothing. Well, it's not a lot, but to them it's a lot.
For them,
Still,
it's
like,
a lot,
when you put it in Canadian dollars, like say you go to a store and you try to buy a bottle of water and it costs you like, $6, $7, $8, whatever it is, then it,
And what last week only cost $2.
Yeah, exactly. When you put it in terms like that, then they can relate. But when you just try and explain it, they're just like, oh, it doesn't sound that bad, the cost of living goes up everywhere, so.
والمشكله الثانيه ده برضه رواتب الناس يعني السرية لانه حسب معظم الخريجين بيكونوا الرواتب بتاعتهم من 1500 ل 2000 دي لو حولت للدولار بتكون حوالي $30 ل $40.
لو ما ساكن that's
لو ما ساكن ركشة ولا أمجاد or something. That's not
وغير كده في حاجه ثانيه هي $30 و $40 دي بتكون
500 في الشهر دي في نعمه مان.
لا يعني غير كده هي 500.
We graduated in 2013 we're making like 600.
لا وغير كده بقى شنو $40 و $50 دي ما فيش عرفتها ما في كاش. فالناس لازم يطلعوا يعني في النهايه يعني.
Yeah, that's true.
لأنه هنا مش تقول لزول أنا أخي هناك رواتبنا المينيموم ويج تبدأ من $40 أو $50 بشوف حاجة غريبة يعني.
Like inflation destroys countries.
Yeah.
It really does.
The thing is, what's so sad is like when you go by and then you see like the ATM lines. I've never seen that in my life. The ATM, like people wait for money. Like there's a line, there's like no money. People knew like, after an hour and a half, like they're gonna come put money in the ATM. So the line is like,
نفس صف البنزين لما كان صف العيش.
You know what I mean? I was like,
it's crazy to think about too. Imagine into like your number 80 or like 100 something on.
You might not have money. Yeah, you just.
And you're like there and.
عشان تجي لما يجي دورك يقول لك there isn't money or there isn't عيش والله ولا we ran out of like بنزين.
I actually I didn't know, but like there's a like here you can go to the bank and you can take like whatever money you want. There, I think there's a limit.
There's a limit.
There's a limit. For you to take out your own money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The crazy thing about it is that even your murattab, they're messing with stuff like, so you go and work, excuse my language, work your ass off for however long. And we all know the difference between, the way they work over there and the way we work over here. So these guys might work ridiculous amount of time. All so that when they go and get their murattab, they're being denied their pay that they work for. Like that's crazy to me. It's no wonder they're rioting. Like I would be rioting too. That was happening.
وفي المشكلة الثانية برضه بتاعت الأدوية يعني. تحس في أدوية كثيرة هناك منقذ الحياة تكون ما فيش. وغير كده لما تمشي لهم تقول لهم يا أخي عاوز الدواء الفلاني يقول لك المملكة بيقول لك كاش. وغير العلاج في المستشفيات برضه. في ناس كتير بيقول لك يا أخي العملية ب20 مليون وأنت المفروض تصرف من البنك 5 مليون بس كل يوم. في النهاية مريضك في المستشفى ده حيموت يعني.
The thing with the cash thing is actually funny because now people are like, it turned into like, yo, if you have cash, it's like, بحول لك التليفون, like, you know what I mean, or like keep the cash or whatever, like,
the receipt, you can go
yeah, like, you know what I mean, like.
That's actually crazy, but.
That's the most place, like, if you want to like fake the lot, but you don't have like places, like you go to like the pharmacy because they have the cash.
Mm.
You know, they, a lot of times like if you but like they will they'll take $1 $, you know, so they can make a value.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just by how we make the telephone here, the money, you know, like it's just really it's sad.
Like, yeah, again, it goes back to that lack of security that everyone's feeling. Lack of security against your own military, your own police force, your own government, your own president. And on top of that, the bank, you can't even get money. Like, it's just and that messes with you psychologically, man. Like, if you can't live, if you don't have the basic necessities, including cash that you have, but you physically don't have to then go pay for the things that you need, that messes with you psychologically. Like, I can't even. Like, you know, they say God only gives you what you can handle, but like, I could never imagine myself in that situation where you have the money and you need it for something dire, like you need something for urgent, but you can't use it because the bank in which you've trusted to put your money in is not giving it back to you.
You can use it, also you can't get it.
Yeah,
you can't put your hands around your own money.
So not only is there not only there's inflation and there's a lack of money given to a shab, there's a lack of money literally given. So it's just this cycle of just destruction, and I think that's why I feel like people aren't gonna stop because they have absolutely nothing to lose. They have nothing to lose, and
they just got to a point that like, yo, like we're fed up.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? There's no point, like you said, like that's it. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna go out there.
Like I followed the rules to feed my family, and now you're telling me I can't feed my family.
Yeah.
You
Like it gets to a point like, if I'm leaving my house, just even if standing in front of my house is not safe. You know what I mean? Like I can't. If I'm staying in front of my house, it's not safe. Like where is it gonna be safe for me?
Yeah.
There's people like that. They go in their house and they grab them. Like I'm in your own. Like they're in their own house and they go in your own house. Like they have. You know what I mean? Like they go in your house, they grab you. Like whatever you're talking the other day. Like we're grabbing you today, and that's it. You're gonna go get that. You're gonna get beat up or whatever for no reason. You know what I mean? For speaking what they shouldn't be. Like
actually, I want to share a little situation that I had when I was over there. Right, mind you, this might not be totally, you know, I guess what this has to do with, but I mean, just, you know, I'm just gonna keep myself out of the camera. So me, my cousin, and my brother were walking. We're walking my girl cousin from our hilla to her hilla, where she lives, right? And out of the blue, a pickup truck full of Asakin pulls up like right in front of us, you know, right, like stops right in front of us. And the guy comes out, drunk out of his head, with a Kalashnikovs, you know, cocks it back and puts it in our face for no reason. Now at that point, I wouldn't say I'm new to the country, but I've been there for like a few months, you know, so I don't understand how things are going, like how things go over there. And just to have that kind of situation happen to you was just ridiculous, and that was a law enforcement personnel, I guess, you know, so it's crazy. It's just ridiculous, you know. And to even think about the fact that most of these people, the way they act that way is because they're not getting paid enough, or they're not getting, so that same askeri that probably pulled out the gun and put it in my face, right? That guy probably worked, we'll say, a week straight, no pay whatsoever. So the next best thing for him to do is to go and like hound somebody up for money, right? So it's just a vicious cycle that happens, you know. Yeah.
They asked you for money, or?
That was basically the whole thing. They wanted to ask us for money, but I guess the guy in the front recognized that me and my brother weren't from there because we had braided hair. And he's like, yo, you know, Arkabeazor, let's go. They just left. But it was just weird because they wanted to. They approached us with that kind of manner, you know, to kind of, you know, rob us. And just things change when you realize, okay, these guys might be from a different country or whatever.
I think with the law enforcement too and everything, you know, like we say, we learn by example, or we follow our example. So let's take our president, in which we're supposed to look for as a leader of our nation. When the leader of our nation, and not many people know this, is wanted by the International Criminal Court for single-handedly starting a genocide in Darfur. Like a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people, when I say, yeah, Darfur is in Sudan, they're like, oh wow, really? I thought it was like, I don't even know where that is. Like, people don't even realize that Darfur is in Sudan. It's a western region of Sudan that there's genocide there from a president inflicting a genocide on his own people. His own people, just due to tribal, ethnic, it's just stupid mentality, right? As bluntly as I can possibly say. But so when your own leader is a criminal, what do you expect?
Yeah.
Like, what do you expect?
Not
Like,
to
if,
even say what's happening in New Mountain.
yeah, and that's in one sector of a very big country, mashallah. Like, if your own leader is a criminal and is wanted internationally for genocide, what do you expect that your law enforcement is going to be? Do you expect them to be angels? No, they're gonna follow the order of their leader, in which is a criminal. So it's just the cycle of, unless he leaves and unless his whole team leaves, there's nothing else that can be created from that. So.
What do you guys think gonna happen now? Like, do you think he will be overturned, or you think he's gonna?
To be honest, the way it's going right now, yeah, the way it's going right now and what's being done currently, I think something has to change. I mean, it's good. Like, I guess in every revolution, it progresses. There's different steps. There's different stages. It has to start somewhere, and I think it's we've started. And this isn't the first revolution. I mean, I remember doing some protests in the last 10 years or so, because there's a lot of different trials that we've had in the past, and unfortunately, there was nothing out of it. But right now, the way it's going right now, the people that are protesting are trying to do so peacefully, from what I've gathered mostly, and I honestly think it's really not it's not really, they're not going to budge. I honestly think the current regime they're not really going to respond to that, really. The way it's going, I think they're just going to keep killing innocent people, and unless something different happens, unless they get some sort of support from somewhere,
It's difficult. It's a difficult question because they don't abide by certain rules.
Right.
When you're dealing with an individual that's not abiding by certain rules, you never know what's going to happen.
There's just some unspoken rules that you need to abide by as a human.
Yeah.
Like putting your hands on women, children, and
Which happens on a daily basis over there, on a daily basis.
And these people, that's what I'm saying.
Whipped on the street and whatnot for no reason.
So when they don't even abide by any of those rules, you can tell that anything like a peaceful protest, right? I think that they won't do anything. So I don't know.
So do you think it's only gonna be successful if international intervention takes place?
Yeah, that's exactly.
That's it, right?
That's what I said.
Or
I was
only international.
Like what's happening right now, I think that they don't get help from outside. Not because inside the country you can do.
I think the youth is strong enough to.
In the country?
Yeah.
Or
people outside, Sudanese
you.
youth outside, Sudanese youth for Sudan, I think they're able to overturn
But
this.
overturn it how?
I think so too. It's
I think I'm telling you, something needs to be involved. Another country needs to get involved.
No, for sure.
or
No, we need
something.
another country's involved.
Like
That's for sure.
that
But what
is-
I'm saying is that shouldn't be our we shouldn't just be
Goal.
depending on them, right? We can do something. We can make a difference. Those kids that are dying, they're making a difference. Yeah, it's more blood that's being spilled, but they're still making a difference. They're making a change. So it's I feel like it can be done, but how is the question?
هو دائما تكون الثورات مثلا الثورات السابقه اللي حصلت يعني زي اكتوبر او القبليه كانت على عبود فكانت الجيش دائما الشعب بيطلع بعد كده الجيش بيتدخل فلحد الحين هم عملوا الشرار الاولى هو السبارك الاولى بانه الشباب مرقع فهم الحين مطالبين بانه الجيش يدخل يعني بانه هو يوقف الحكومه دي ويعمل حكومه انتقاليه.
Only that flips, yeah.
فنتمنى الحاجه دي يعني بانه الجيش يتدخل ويعمل
Did you
حكومه
say this that
انتقاليه.
your dad? When he went to Dhaka?
Yeah. So they had during the beginning that when this was happening, أبوي زمان كان في الجيش, and this was before Umar Bashir's time. So what they did was, this was a couple weeks ago, they were from Medani. So they got all the ex-generals, police officers كده in a meeting, almost like just a general meeting to be like, يا جماعة نحنا, especially like this deal of military men haven't really been old enough and cognitive enough to understand the coups that have happened before. In the military coups, and there have been, 2 or 3 that have happened? I forget. 2 or 3 that have happened before. So our father's generation, they got together all the, the older generals and stuff together to kind of be like, Jama'ah, like we don't know. Like we don't know what will happen. You guys have the experience and you guys were part of several coups, or at least if not were part of, you were aware and old enough to understand what happened. So we just need your guys' input. I was just telling Yassine, I was so scared. I was like, khalas, they're gonna bring a Jama'ah Day together and then they're just gonna do something. Al-yom dak, I didn't sleep, I didn't eat, I was so terrified because I just had a feeling something was gonna happen. They're just trying to bring them together and they're just gonna do something. But alhamdulillah, after I talked, I like كلمت مع أبوي with them, like what was it? He was like, no, they just generally were unaware. They were unaware of the process. They're like, what happens if the government is overthrown? What do we do? Where do we start? So it was just like kind of like just a general assembly, which was nice to see.
I have a really good question for everybody. Do you guys think that Sudan can operate without a government? Because that's a hard question to answer. No. I mean, without a government, like no government whatsoever. I mean, like a break.
No.
Do you guys think that we can?
Just like Somal?
It can.
I don't know, man.
Like anarchy? Like you mean complete anarchy?
Well, that's the thing. There's a big misconception that whenever there's no government, that there's anarchy.
That's true.
Right? I mean, our ancestors for the longest time have survived without no form of government, no form of, like they have the laws that they have, you know, they have their elders and everything that they talk to.
Yeah.
And they can find in, but
they did still have leadership. They still did have leadership, right? And they still respect. If not, they weren't necessarily in an uncivil way. They still respected that leadership, even if it was the elders, right?
No doubt.
Unfortunately,
but their leadership was wise.
Yeah.
The people they were actually wise. They weren't about conquering.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And we fall into these issues when we have leaders that want to conquer stuff. That want to, they just have greedy intentions. For you to become a leader, you have to care about your people. And clearly, this person is not caring about his people.
You from that, like, I'll ask you a question, like, the same thing. Do you believe that Sudan needs another dictatorship?
Definitely. But wait. Can you say that again? Like what?
Do you like another president that's dictator? Like we already have a dictator right now. But do you believe for Sudan to succeed to be like a good country, another dictator? Because I'll tell you what I think. I think we need it. Like I was telling these guys earlier, I think we need a dictator, but like the right dictator.
Why though?
We need a dictator. See, I'll give you an example. Like I was telling you, like Malaysia. Malaysia had a dictator that made their country one of the most beautiful countries. Like he got people working for in the country to fix the country. Like if Omar Bashir was doing that, at least he's killing the people. He's not like he's helping the people.
He's not helping.
See, like there's certain dictators, different dictators, what they do in the country. Like there's bad dictators, there's good dictators. Like I would want a dictator that will come in the country and fix the country, make it a proper country, make people, like he gets people jobs, you know what I mean? Like everything. Like this guy, I don't think he cares.
No, but I think the whole idea of dictatorship is that what this person says goes.
But that's what I'm saying.
Regardless of what anybody says. When you have a situation like that, that's Nazi Germany right there.
But I'm saying like for me.
Why don't you look at Japan? Why don't you look at Japan, right? What happened after they got hit by the nuclear bomb? What happened in Nagasaki, right? They shut everything down. They shut their borders down. They focused on their infrastructure. They focused on their economy. Right now, they're leading in technology, right? I mean, why can't we do that? Regardless of whether we have a government or not, why do we need to get food from outside of the country? Why do we need to get stuff from other countries?
It's more easy.
What more easy can
why are we looking for the easiest?
I personally, I come from the Balad. I come from Sufab, right? Sufab is a farm area. We're farmers, right? But we have the most amazing land over there, right? You can grow almost damn near anything. Why aren't we using that?
الحكومة دائما بتشوف الحياة السهلة، عرفتها؟ عارف الزراعة بتاخد فترة طويلة وبعض المرات تكون عاوزة بحوث علمية وعاوزة سماد وعاوزة دعم من الحكومة.
That's the issue. They're not.
They need to invest in stuff like that. I mean,
they don't have the time for that, man.
Brother, I have a land back home that I wanted to open as a food bank. Use whatever comes out of there as a food bank. Same thing as over here. They said no.
Yeah.
They said no. It's my own land. My uncle, Amu Yahya, not too long ago, was working on a situation where he was trying to bring books from here to send them back there to open up a free library. They said no. They're not thinking about nothing but themselves.
Yeah, that's the main.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
What happened a long time ago is, as you're saying, you're from an agriculture. Me too. I'm from Jazeera. Jazeera in general is an agricultural sector.
Yeah.
What happened was the government stopped subsidizing a lot of farmers. They stopped subsidizing a lot of people that worked in the agricultural sector. Why? Just like you were saying, it's easier to focus on technology. It's easier to focus on other things that aren't even as successful as other countries. They won't get to that, but they don't realize that what could make us economically stronger is our agriculture, and it is investing in the people that work in our agriculture, in our fil balad and everything. But they stopped those subsidies. They stopped investing in the people that provide us our agriculture. So then what happens is they go to Khartoum or they go to wherever, and they go to the urban city to go find exactly. They think that the urban city is going to be better, so they go, and then as we know, the whole idea of gentrification and what I don't want to make this into a geography or a political lesson, but it's that idea that you go to the city and you have a better life and you have a better job, but then there's overpopulation and just so many things happen. So a lot of the people from these agricultural sectors, due to the fact that they don't have support from their government, they go to Khartoum or Sudan or wherever they can find a wazifa. So these agricultural people are like, okay, well, I'm just going to screw agriculture because clearly it's not feeding me or my family, literally, and so I'm just going to go get a job. And it's so sad that we can still be one of the most abundant, the most abundant country in Africa, and I want to say the entire world.
What happened? I want to ask everybody, what do you guys think happened? This is ridiculous. We had factories, we had so much stuff. People used to come to Sudan to learn. Yeah. We had the most amazing learning system. We had bursaries, bro. Do you guys know what bursaries are? That's what they're giving out here now. Pretty much what they're giving out here.
المشكلة كلها بس في العقليات اللي بتحكم البلد، عرفتوا؟
Yeah.
يعني لأن هي العقليات اللي بتحكم البلد كلها عسكرية وتكون جاي من الحكم العسكري، عرفتوا؟ لكن هم نظرهم بس كله بأن البلد أهم حاجة يكون فيها الأمانة. الجيش والشرطة والأمن يكونوا قويين، بعد كده البلد حيتطور يعني. وهو ده البلد اللي بأنه البلد فاشل.
I think the good news is eventually it'll become a lot better. I'm not just saying just because of time or whatever, and I'm not just saying we should sit on our asses and just hope that it works out, but because of the fact that I know I have a lot of hope and I have a lot of confidence in the youth out there, because I know that they're being educated. A lot of them are I'm hearing from my brother who visited there recently, just from his interactions with everyone. They're very aware, and they're pretty much all of them are in pretty much a consensus.
And they're all ready to make a change.
Exactly, they're mobilized. So eventually, that gesture you're talking about, and all of the institutions that comprise the Hakuma, they're gonna, the next generation is gonna step up.
Bro, us too out here, we need more people that
honestly,
have the mentality.
That's a long time from now, and I don't think. Bro,
if right now Sudan was to fix up, sorry for cutting you off.
No, yeah,
I don't know why. I'm very passionate about this conversation, but if Sudan was to fix up right now, you have opportunities to go back home and start your own business per se, right?
Of course.
Wouldn't you do that?
Of course, yo. Like that's one of the things that my uncle always preaches to me, and that's one of the only thing I can say to him is that, man, I can't. There's no way right now that you can't start a business over there. You can't even if you try to give any sort of help, like you said.
Yeah.
Along the way, is there with this type of leadership, is they're gonna make it hard. Man,
so let's talk solutions, guys. I feel like I dampened the mood way too much right now. I'm not trying to be a pessimist, but let's talk solutions. What do you guys think, as the youth of today? What do you guys think would?
Are you talking about what we can do?
Yeah, what we can do from here.
Yeah, what we can do. Obviously, I think it's obvious to everyone the most power that we have is going to be through our government, and that's with all the Sudanese people around the world. All the government. Like we said, having some external support is really important. They're not really getting any support from the Jish and the power hungry people over there. So, the only thing that concerns me is I'm not sure how interested they would be,
I think they're very interested. What St. Catherine's did.
Yeah, they had
getting the mayor
No,
out.
I'm saying how interested do you think these governments around the world will be interested in helping?
Yeah, but they pass it on, like, you know what I mean, like in what they did in St. Catharines, they have the mayor and all that, you know, going with them and marching, and then they have the power to pass it on to the higher ups to get, you know, the government, you know, in there, you know, because like the mayor in St. Catharines is a very small voice, and when you're talking about Canada in total, but like they have the power to pass it on, and you know.
They said they'll make sure this gets to Trudeau.
Well, my thing is, what do we expect? What do we expect the international community to really offer us?
Actually,
that's like
Trudeau's coming to Brock on Tuesday,
because like,
and I'm going to go see him. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure we have enough Sudanese people in Brock to raise awareness on what's going on. So.
His youth ambassador right now is a Sudanese kid that I know. I'm pretty sure he's been talking his heart out. If he got into contact with him at any point in time, I'm positive that he said something about it. Yeah. That's why I say I'm pretty sure Trudeau knows that there's something going on in Sudan. It's just maybe he doesn't
and he's
know
very
the extent
woke.
of it.
He sees what's going on.
Cultural,
So as of Canada, I can say it's pretty interested in helping for sure.
Okay.
So what does help look like?
That's exactly what I was.
What is help?
Is that going to be like, you know, having some sort of like UN effort? Because honestly, like, you know, the UN has this reputation that like when things like this happen, for example, if you look at genocides in the past in Rwanda, etc., of not being too effective, honestly. You know, honestly, I'm not sure how help would look like, you know, mobilizing troops, getting them in Sudan. That's something that I can't see happening, honestly.
And it's scary too.
Sending basic needs, I think.
The issue is that whenever we have an external force that's going to join in and do something about it, we have issues of mistrust. You don't know what that external force is going to do. Whether they're going to come in and lock down everything and control. Yeah, like that kind of situation. You don't want that kind of situation to happen. That's why I've been iffy. Like I've gotten a few petitions to contact the UN and stuff, like on social media and stuff, but at the same time I've been iffy about that because I'm like morally like conflicted as to what might happen once people start doing that more and more, you know?
Yeah.
Not to say that we don't need their help. We do need the UN's help.
Any help.
It's just, you know.
Yeah.
It's like at this point, just thinking about it, it's like, where do you start from? I feel like that's the question. Like in my head, I always say, okay, khalas, abdu with the basic necessities of what they need. Like someone targets health, get medication, get all that. طيب قفلت الموضوع ده, what's next, you know? Because it's like Sudan got to a point where it's like ما مشكلة واحدة مليون مشكلة.
There's too many
all like combined, so and it's like you don't know what do you tackle first.
The source. You can't say, okay, they need food, they need gas, they need money. All right, yeah, you keep doing that. Eventually, the same situation is gonna happen.
It's not
The
sustainable.
source, the government, like the law, not even the law. I don't even think they have. Like it's about what they've put in place, what they've established.
Economic situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know that's a source. So you
those
gotta
people
go.
are willing to do like once they're in power like that, whether they're open-minded enough or power-hungry enough to go, it could go either or. Somebody can fake the funk for the longest time.
These guys are showing how power-hungry and evil they are.
I mean, we've seen that happen with Turabi, right?
Yeah.
We've seen that happen with Turabi. This guy took him for 2 years or whatever, comes back, everything goes to ruins. You know what I mean? So I mean, there's people out there that might be put in power, but it's just scary to know if, like, you have to know if that person means well. And that's our dilemma right now. Once we put somebody in power, I don't even know how that would happen. Right? How would that happen? How would we put somebody in power? Like the Sudanese people over there, would it be an election? What would it be? What would it look like?
Out of power first. And at that point,
and who's that person gonna be? Is it gonna be?
It's not a democracy. They don't have elections.
They don't have elections and stuff like that. So it's.
You have a fake.
That's why I say we have a
issue. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking after all this, what might just happen is another fake election, and then we're back where we started. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we hear. Man, I hope not, but you know, if you hear anything about an election, everyone knows what's happening. You know, like everyone knows it's going to be the same thing. You know, and even if it isn't Bashir winning the next one, it's going to be someone from his regime.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, I just realized Sudanese people need a lot of healing.
Yeah.
We need a lot of healing because like
To trust
after
someone
all
else
of that
with,
30
like-
years,
Yeah.
we're living through PTSD right now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people over there are living through PTSD because they don't know who to trust at this point. Everybody's been, hectic. Or at least this guy has been there for 30 years.
People look for independent.
Yeah.
Some people, they come from outside the parties, the old parties. And حيكون الأمر جديد يعني بالنسبة لنا.
I think, and I haven't, I'm not sure if you guys have, but I haven't really heard of any like centralized leadership from the ones that are revolting. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. Having a certain leadership, thinking, okay, these are the people leading it. These are the prime. I know it's youth, but I'm not sure if it's a good thing to think that it's decentralized or centralized leadership from the revolution or not. I'm not sure what you
Because we have a lot of factions over there. We have
Yeah, and I think there shouldn't be leadership only because if you look at الدول الثانية like Syria, why is it like the biggest mess that it is in today? Because a lot of people want to take ownership of a revolution. So it's like when you want to, and then this group wants to take ownership of this revolution, then this group, and then they start clashing, and then it's just a whole mess. So what I like about this is that I don't feel like anyone's trying to take ownership of this protest. Everyone's just coming out together. Let's just go out and with the same mentality. Let's take this regime down. And I think to go off of your point, I think it's good that it's not centralized. I don't know if it's not centralized or not, but I don't think it is. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong.
It was Adbara that started it.
Adbara started, yes. But I mean, like, there's not like a central, like a group or like a you know what I mean? Like a group
It
of
wasn't.
people.
You wouldn't say it was like something planned
Like
per
not
se.
like a
It's just
club.
like it's like خلاص we're done. We're
just-
fed up. It's just like خلاص.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally, you know.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah.
I feel like it's mostly the ones that happened in Khartoum that you'd say they're planned. Like خلاص, okay, people should go out. اللي يعمل كده أو تعمل كده whatnot. But like we were all surprised by what happened in Adbara. You just wake up one morning and you're like, Adbara is like out there doing its thing.
My heart goes for those people, man. They stepped up like heavy.
They really did.
But then Durman came and it was like
Yeah, that's amazing. Just to see I felt proud. Just to see everybody stand up like that, it gave me such a enormous feeling of proudness of my people.
Also, thank you to Asil who made this video. It's such a nice compilation of things that have been happening over the past 3 weeks. She literally got videos of things in Sudan, here.
Whatever screenshot I was able to
she literally made this on her own.
Send it to me.
And send it to me, honestly.
I would love to feature it at the end of this video.
Sure, yeah. She compiled it and a bunch of pictures and videos together to kind of give you
And a quick shout out to Samani Hajar. I used his song, Sudan Revolts, on the background. Tessie, she just muted it, but
I'll play it the full thing later.
Yeah, it's playing in the background. It's just what's been roaming around Twitter, Facebook. A lot of it is, this is Toronto. Habab, do you see yourself over there? Yeah, just that's me. But
Asil got famous.
But
You guys know any good accounts on Twitter or any good
hashtags?
media outlets to follow?
There is just follow the hashtag, to be honest. I wrote it في واحدة من الصور هنا في النهاية, but it's مدن السودان تنتفض. That's the one where people are posting the most. Sudan Revolts, I haven't been checking. Sudan Revolts.
That one's been
Sudan Revolts?
Yeah, that's been the source of most of my videos.
Right.
And I always hashtag it, but I'm pretty sure it died down right now.
And I'd say follow Yusra Al-Baghir.
Yeah, she's
for sure. She's up to date.
So تسقط بس.
This,
you know what? We should get a list of it, and then I'll edit it into the video. I'll have it scrolling down. So
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if everyone by the end of this can just think of 1 or 2.
But I got the majority. Mine was Yusra Al-Baghir.
She's the UK journalist.
Yeah, Rami Dawood, في أمريكا. He posted a lot, especially yesterday or the day before, because one of the people that died is his cousin. So he was just, my heart goes out to him and his family. But yeah. That's where I got the majority of the stuff from. I feel like I got to this point where it's like I can't express how I feel anymore. Like a couple of days ago, I just broke down and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like, because I felt like there's a lot of people that are interested in knowing, and they come and ask me like, oh, what's going on for Sudan? We know you're Sudanese, so what's going on back home? Can you educate us a little bit more about what's going on? We saw you going to protest, blah, blah, blah. And I found myself just frozen. Like, I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, they're like, but you're putting a lot of people that are dying and a lot of people that are injured. I'm like, whatever you see is what's going on. I got to a point where I'm like, is this gonna end? Is it not gonna, like, end? Is it gonna be okay? Is it ever gonna be okay? Will I ever go back home? You know? بقيت في حالة كده shock. Like, I don't know.
I think everyone had that moment. For me, at my moment, I was telling you, remember I was saying at work?
Yeah.
So I work for an NGO, and the typical narrative of every day, we're monitoring the situation in Syria or Palestine or whatever. It was the day I went to work and I saw like everyone kind of shuffling. I'm like, what's going on? And then they're like, oh, we're just preemptively planning just in case something happens. I'm like, where? What are we talking about today? Syria? They're like, no, Sudan, just in case. Just in case. So, you know, the goal of a humanitarian organization is to have the funds and the resources ready in case an emergency does happen. That was the day I was like, oh snap. Like the day that I do this on a daily basis. I come to work.
Wake up call.
It was a wake up call. And it was so, like, I'm not to say that I wasn't connected to al-Hasil fil, you know, al-Bildan al-Thaniya, but when it's your own.
It just hit you.
And I've never thought of Sudan, at least, you know, generally in such an saying that it could possibly become an emergency state. That's when I was like, oh man, that was an emotional day for me at work.
When I heard,
we were like, today I had a hard time at work. Like they were planning, and you know, it's like all my coworkers are so, especially so. I don't want to say detached, but we're so objectively planning. They're so if this case, so right now it's still considered a political issue. So it's hard for humanitarian.
That's my country they're talking about.
It's hard for humanitarian organizations to intervene because under like Canadian law, you're not allowed to intervene with anything political. If you're a registered charity, you cannot. If it's political, you can't do. It's not that you can't do anything, but it's only until it reaches a state of emergency or whatever, or sustainable development. So when they're talking about my country, it wasn't that day. I was like, I couldn't just do my regular work that I usually do or whatever. It's different. It was so different. Like I'm like, oh my goodness, like, you know, this could actually be something. This could actually be one day we're doing fundraisers and hashtag this, hashtag say Sudan, hashtag whatever, because our people, like our family is in a state of emergency. And inshallah, I pray to God that it never reaches that point. But just that conversation at work that happened, that triggered me. That one was like, oh my God, it's, you know, it could happen. Just the idea that it could happen got me a little frazzled. But yeah, I think everyone's had that moment. That was mine anyways, for sure. But, yeah.
Have you guys seen a surah circulating?
This one specifically?
This one, all these images, if you do zoom in, I wasn't able to, but these are all victims that did die or get injured or from when the protest started, from the revolution started, sorry. So, these are all people, I can see one from right here, this is someone who was taken in and he was beaten up. I remember that specific surah اللي أنا عيدت لها هسي, his head got shaved off. It's just the basic things they do when they take you in.
Who heard of Beit al-Ishbah? Anybody? Everybody, huh?
I haven't.
Al-Ishbah is a place where political. Anybody want to explain?
Basically, when
I feel like it's gonna
they
sound
take
weird,
you and torture you.
Yeah.
Somebody been there?
I know. You know what?
Yeah, so they just beat you up.
Yeah, and basically they're pretty much like their I don't know, their usual
Torture.
method is to shave your head, beat you up, and
Oh, that's
you know,
that's
this is
askeri.
the my
That's
this
askeri
is the
stuff.
different one.
Yeah, that's askeri.
Oh,
Like shaving
then I
your
don't
head.
know it. Then I
Okay.
don't know بيت الإشباح.
When you get caught like doing something, anything wrong, you know, that's and you have long hair. That's like one of the main things that they'll do.
Yeah, في
They'll
الجامعة.
shave your hair. You know, whether it's a political crime or it's not. That's just how the cop is feeling. But بيت الإشباح is more like, we're gonna take you there as a political prisoner. You're gonna be tortured, you know, and your family isn't gonna know anything about you. You know, it's like an off the grid type of.
So like the people think you're missing.
Yeah.
But really,
But you'll be over
getting
there.
tortured.
Yeah. And mostly it's for people that speak out against the government.
Yeah. Now I know what it is. I actually have a relative who was speaking against the government. And I don't remember the full story. And even if I did, I wouldn't go in details. But he left his house this one time and he never came back. And then stories were going around saying that they're sending his family, you know, kind of like threats. This is what we're doing to your son. You know, حاجات كده. But this is what 4 years ago. People are still looking. And I personally said to them, يا جماعة الزول ده is خلاص, he's dead. But they said no, there's still hope he's alive. You know, they're just torturing him somewhere. Maybe that's what it is.
If this gets to any political person in power, all right, do your research. Do your research, you know, and you know, find the place. It's called Beit al-Ishbah. In translation, that is called the haunted house, right? Is it called the haunted house? The haunted ghost house or something like that. And that's a political place in Sudan that they're taking people and they're torturing them. So if anybody, whoever, you know, gets this.
I guess it's all about education, right? It's about just the general situation that's happening. Like, there's so many people that are just so unaware of our own people, and then people that just don't even know about Sudan in general, and then they don't know the situation, they don't know the root of the situation. We start with education, I think, and we have to start with informing people, raising awareness, showing in Jama'ah Bahnak, and know we stand with you. You know, just because we're of the diaspora, you know, we're the generation in diaspora doesn't mean that we don't have a connection to you.
That's
and we
the
don't
least
have a
we can
connection.
do.
It really is the least we can do.
Definitely.
So, you know.
We also need to break the stigma that because we're out here, we don't care about people. Or خلاص يعني, you know, because a lot of people back home will be like, يا أخي, you know, you have your ticket back.
مغترب.
You know, أنت مغترب. You know what I mean? You don't have none. Or that's why you're saying these things, you know?
Yeah.
We can't say this because
Immigrant, you know, you're not from here, you know? You don't have to worry about this. Well, at least you don't
Someone in
care.
diaspora, basically.
Pretty much.
there's no real consequences to what you say. But there's more consequences to what we say.
They always assume إنه إحنا we're just talking. We're not about action. We're not about this. We're not serious about it. So it's like, you know, when you raise awareness, you show them إنه خلاص يعني.
في واحد سوداني اسمه بكري علي عمل له صفحة في الفيس ابرايزنج يعني الناس ممكن يعني يساعدوا فيها برضه لانه بتبرع علي زول اخوه تم اعتقاله او تم ضربه بالنار ولا حاجه كده ويحتاج لمعالجه وكده فبياخدوا قروش من هنا وبيعالجوه بيها.
It was really good. I think that reached 80,000.
Group?
I think now
the fund, the
yeah,
fundraiser?
there is one. Yeah, 80,000 now.
No,
80,000 to this
no,
day.
it's
like
not
3 weeks, 2 weeks. Yeah.
Wow.
I think Becky was born in the U.S., right? Yeah, so that shows how everyone is committed.
Yeah.
They feel that Sudan is their own home country. Honestly, even if you're not Sudanese, it requires action. It requires everyone to move for it. It's your own blood that requires something else.
And it's amazing to see how, like, people here, I personally had a lot of my friends saying, how can we help? And that really warmed my heart because I'm like, you're willing to sacrifice yourself for my country? And they're like, yeah. Like, most of them related it to, like, we're all African. We're all one. We're all, you know, united. We have to help each other. But, like, just the thought of hearing something like that from someone who is not Sudanese, someone who's not going through this, it's really great. So if that, in addition to like the Sudanese people around the world, we can make a difference. I know we can. It's doable. I don't want to say it's easy, but it's doable.
I think it is. I mean, they've done it before. You know what I mean? In the past, we've overthrown. Not me, but you know, I wasn't in the picture, but you know, our people have done it before. They've overthrown.
I don't think any of us were.
No, I don't think any of you. Any of you guys? No. You know, our people have done it before, and I think they can do it again. Yes, it's a different era, and yes, there's different factors, but they've done it before. But then again, our parents' generations were much, mashallah, they were much more
stronger.
They were stronger. They were stronger. They were more patriotic.
We're more equipped.
That's another thing. We're more mentally equipped, I think. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, this whole idea of globalization, right? Like, we tune into social media. Social media is our weapon. That's what we're equipped with. We're equipped with social media. We can log in at any second to see what's happening and to speak our mind and to let them know, you know, to keep just the thought of sharing something, to get it to government, to get it to then on a higher platform. That itself is a weapon. It's a digital weapon in a sense, right? So.
And it shows you like how strong they were back then, because nowadays it's hard to silence somebody.
Yeah.
You know, back then it was easy to silence.
You didn't have social media. You had to go out there and.
That's so true.
You know.
So I mean.
A hashtag was a fist in the air.
Yeah.
Like, now we're just
That was
hashtagging things.
literally
Their hashtag was a person out on the street. Yeah.
So shout out to the older generation.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
They got rhythm and soul, man.
Yeah, they do. Alright, so welcome back. Do you want to say your story?
We're gonna kind of close up with that?
Yeah.
Or how?
Say it. I want you to say it. Okay, so Sayyid mashallah is very talented and she has spoken word that she wants to present.
هي ما لها علاقة بالحاصل at all. But for now, I'll just say it's out of pressure.
Your pressure. You give in.
You want to stand up there?
Aye, صحيح.
Yeah.
Stand up.
I don't need the mic, do I?
You do.
I think
Yeah, you do.
You do.
Yes.
Just makes it more official.
Why? Yeah. Why? Okay. Okay.
You're matching the flag, come on. You look very patriotic.
Okay. Okay. أديكم a background of like the speech that I wrote. أول حاجة اسمها قبيلة and okay. At some point, this was June, Chris, I started a blog where I just share all my pieces, my poetry بكتبها بخدها هناك, just so it can be like some sort of like platform for me بعدين for, I'm a media and comm student, so it would be useful for me for my 3rd and 4th year to kind of show that. I came across some guy that was talking about Sudan, Durman, ما بعرف شنو, he's from there, so I was just really inspired. Here's how it goes. قبيلة, tell me where you're from. أنت من وين? I'll tell you أنا من وين. I'm from a قبيلة joining tribes, yours and mine. قبيلة, you heard of Sudan? That's our tribe. That's our قبيلة. That is our home. بحري درمان, Kosti or Sinnar. Sudan جمعتنا as one. As a قبيلة we stand. But قبيلة, how come I never heard of you? أنت رباطابية ولا زغاوية? أنت هدندوية ولا من الدنكا? Where do you come from? Does it matter though? Because either way, I think you're a beauty. Either way, I admire your presence. Either way, you look like a Kandaka. Are you a Kandaka? You are a Kandaka. I see a Kandaka. Kandaka Sudaniya, Kandaka Shaja'a, Kandaka Qabaili. I'm glad I met you, Qabila. Thank you.
It's really nice. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
To go on that, it's like, I think it's beautiful how you're saying, you know, in Loki, that's like, I think we've lived too long where everyone's so fragmented, and unfortunately that's something that this government has done and reinforced. Everyone's have a different of a different background, whatever, and continues to fragment. So as long as we come together and we put our differences aside and we're all for one purpose, and that's just living properly. That's all it is. It's just you want to live properly, and you want to see your future generations prosper in a country that once was prospering.
That's exactly what I was trying to get across as well.
It was a beautiful.
Thank you.
I think he has.
Bro, I'm not trying to put you out there. Like, don't put me on a
Come on,
Yo, you see,
Bro,
this is
let
the
me
shit.
work on my timing.
Oh, come on, bro. You're good, trust me.
I guess since I'm on the spot.
Yeah, man.
Hello guys, again. صراحة كده like قبل ما أبدأ like I'm honestly super shy, like talking in front of the mic.
Yeah, me too.
Like usually I'm better with like background music or like stuff like that going on, to keep me going. But
sure, request whatever background music.
It's all good.
There's no-
I wrote this piece like a couple of days ago, and I'm gonna perform it as a spoken word, but it's gonna be a song eventually. So it goes, يا أخي الناس تعبانة، يا أخي الناس قرفانة، أبكرش قد أختانة. You think your shit doesn't smell like an adbakhana. I can tell you know it well, you expel pheromones jabana. يا أخي الناس تعبانة، يا أخي الناس قرفانة، أبكرش قد أختانة. Around your corner, all that I can smell is afana. We gon' keep coming at you till you say kafana. Kafana, kafana, kafana. My brother is still getting shot dead in the streets. This ain't no riot for bread, it's a call for peace. Crooked police, we need due process at least. No justice, no peace, we're letting history repeat. Life ain't cheap, so how you shed my blood like it's rakhis? We need Umar impeached for 29 years suppression of speech. And strategic planning to the wayside, he's only good at lagis. I said strategic planning to the wayside, he's only good at lagis. You can see it on TV, the media coverage isn't free. We got money for munitions, but no money for the weak. But my niggas had to kill or go hungry for the week. But my niggas have one meal and then go hungry for the week. You can see it on TV, the media coverage isn't free. We got money for munitions, but no money for the weak. But my niggas had to kill or go hungry for the week. Some are slanging pills so they ain't hungry when they sleep. يا أخي الناس تعبانة، يا أخي الناس قرفانة. أبكرشة قد أختانة. You think your shit doesn't smell like a ladbakhana. But I can tell you know it well, you expel pheromones jabana. Around your corner, all that I can smell is afana. I know that you can tell because your pheromones jabana. The media hides the facts and your favorite bank's complacent. Cover the truth under wraps and they give us blanket statements. Divide and conquer all they create. Within the masses' hatred, massive chambers to keep our echoes stagnant. Trapped in stasis, packed in basements, fascist statement. Try to keep the fam displaced in. Hand in hand, we can stop this train that in its tracks, let's face it. Fam, the genocide for Darfur? Nah, we won't forget that. The South and North war, nigga? Yeah, you're gonna regret that. The government was never for the people, but you would get that. It's time that you accept that. Nothing you do won't ever bring success back. We all know about the stocks in this Libyan. We all know about your stocks in the Libyan slave market. Sold our troops in Yemen for Saudi warplane targets. On a hunt, no debate. Need your head on a stake. No delay. See the snake, put his head on a stake.
See, that was good, bro.
Damn, son.
That was good.
Damn, son. Holy.
Memorize what was saying, killed it.
Damn. Wow.
That's nice.
Man.
Yeah.
Man.
I know.
Yeah, that's nice.
Nice.
Oh my god. You see what Amir Rashid makes us do?
Literally.
It's like, okay,
معلش ما قصدي
no,
أجيب
so
المود
seriously.
كده.
No, but I'm actually happy, like, those, they're
passion.
Hard lyrics.
Yeah.
Hard lyrics.
They're hard,
hitting,
you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
Unapologetic.
It's the point.
This guy went unapologetically Sudanese today. You know?
Yeah, 249.
yo, you guys, it's actually funny. Every time I pass by, like, we have this classroom, Pajama is 249. Every time I pass by it, I'm like, gang, gang, gang. It's so funny. Every time I pass by it, I'm like, gang, gang, gang. That's my city, you know?
Anybody else has anything?
Yeah,
Have you not
like,
something to say?
You know, like I feel like I'm sweating here. So
I saw you.
Let's go. No spoken word.
Anything, you guys, like, just كلام كده يعني.
I'm not gonna do it.
من القلب زي ما بقولوا, like.
So basically, للناس that came in a little later.
Yeah.
The whole idea of the Shabab Talk is just to literally just speak your mind. This is an open platform to say anything. If there's just one little thing that's just sitting on your heart that you want to say, you can say. And
Speaking of a platform, someone عنده
حبيبي عندك كلام
عندها نكتة. خلينا الكلام كده عندها نكتة قالت. Let's go حبا المايك.
والله ما عندي حاجة والله لو عندي شيء حطلع لكن ما عندي حاجة والله.
Yeah, so every month we want to have a different topic. So this topic we decided because this is such a pressing, you know, it's in the headlines and this is so dear to us that we decided to go with this topic in a sense of the revolution in Sudan. So every month we're going to have a different topic and not just us deciding, but like we want everyone to decide the topic.
Like all your takes.
All your takes, like what
we want to know what you want to discuss because, yani, initially this is supposed to be, your voices need to be heard as well. How do you feel towards, not necessarily the Hasl for Sudan, how do you feel as, I don't know, one of the topics can be like as a Sudanese Canadian youth. How's your life? يعني كده in one, put it together. This is something we can discuss. Topics like that, you guys are more than welcome.
That was actually our initial
really?
Yeah, that was actually what we were going to do.
Like,
We were going to talk about like the struggles of the Sudanese Canadian diaspora and, and that identity crisis that I know we've all felt at least one point of our life. If it's not ongoing, which it is for me, that's all tell you that for sure.
Oh my god.
But that was going to be actually the original one, and then once we saw this snowball effect happening, and we decided that hey, why don't we take this approach? But why don't we leave this topic with optimism, and shall we all say يعني just حاجة واحدة كده that we love about Sudan, or we نتمنى Sudan, or something that we are hopeful for, or just something that, like anything. It could be.
I think Marwan wanted to say something, right? You wanted to say something قبل شوي قبل ما هي تبدأ تتكلم.
في قصيدة بتاعت محجوب شريف تعرفوها.
يا سلام.
يا سلام. Okay. I like this. Hidden talents already.
Okay.
Let me get in position.
No.
Oh my god, you have to be careful.
Catastrophe.
Speaking of some words.
قصيدة جميلة جدا اسمها حنبنيه بنحلم به يوماتي وطن شامخ وطن عاتي وطن خير ديمقراطي وطن مالك زمان نوره متوهج لهب جموره وطن غالي نجومه تلالي في العالي مكان الفرد يتقدم قياداتنا الجماعية مكان السجن مستشفى مكان المنفى كلية مكان الأسرة وردية مكان الحسرة أغنية مكان الطلقة عصفورة تحلق حول نافورة تمازج شفع الروضة حنمنيه بنحلم به يوماتي وطن للسلم أجنحته ضد الحرب أسلحته عدد ما فوق ما تحته مدد الأرض محتلة سند للأيدي ملوية حنمنيه بنحلم به يوماتي وطن حدادي مدادي ما بنبنيه فرادي ولا بالضجة في الرادي ولا الخطب الحماسية وطن بالفيه نتساوى نحلم نقرأ نتداوى مساكن كهرباء موية تحتنا الظلمة تتهاوى نخط الفجر طاقية تطلع شمس مقهورة بخطب الشعب مبهورة تخلي الدنيا مبهورة إرادة واحدة شعبية.
Don't fall again. المشكلة إنه you never fall. Don't trip again.
Catastrophe.
On the same spot.
أسيل
نعم.
الزولة دي نعملها
الزولة دي لما تقول لا معناتها لا.
شوف انا ما خجلان ما
It's like-
We'll turn off the cameras ما عادي
ما في الكاميرا. لا هي ما خجولة. هي ما خجولة هي بس يعني لما
ما قالوا إنها نكتة and then she backed up.
حاب نبتدي شنو؟ ديك اللي كنا there was a funny chant we made يوم التورونتو protest. What was it? Man, there was a funny one. حتى انت قلت لي ما ممكن نقولها.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I feel left out now. I laughed with you guys, but I don't know what the chant was, so I just kind of.
It was so funny. It was like I can't say it. I don't know what it is. It had عمر البشير, and it had. Nah, it's too عيب خلاص. It's too عيب. Oh god. Oh man. I think the conclusion we came to is we all have love for our country. That's one, you know, and we're all willing to stand hand in hand to keep it our home and keep it like, you know, it's the motherland. في النهاية, we're bound to go back eventually. حتى كان لإجازة, you know, we're bound to go back. And I know I wouldn't want to go to a place that's corrupt, destroyed. Like it's like it feels weird. Feel like when you come into a place, Tiji, with a lot of money in comparison to what people are dealing with in Iraq, you're living lavish, and then people around you are like struggling. I don't know if everybody feels the same way, but that's how I feel. I wouldn't feel comfortable. I wouldn't feel home. Simple, because it's not how it should be, and
no matter how much you smile when you're at home.
Exactly.
You step outside and see everybody's
and that's a point to keep in mind. We always go back to Sudan for what زي ما أحمد قال يقولك أعراس شبشبة وما بعرف شنو. Sudan is always keeping us hyped and happy. Like we can't let it slip out of our hands like that. You know, we're gonna get it back, and the Aras are gonna continue. We're gonna have fun, and it's gonna, you know. حيكون إن شاء الله بإذن الله we're gonna get back the Sudan اللي بنسمع بهم من جدودنا حبوباتنا, you know, all those stories that we hear about. We're gonna make it يحلى لأيام زمان. We're gonna say that to our grandkids, inshallah. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, I think we should all be optimistic. There's absolutely pessimism is not going to do anything for us.
It wouldn't do anyone nothing.
It's you know, and unfortunately we've lived because we were all I feel like we were hopeless for a while, so everyone was just pessimistic. But now I feel like people are taking a different perspective of Sudan. People are hopeful again, I think.
Yeah.
And I think we need to take that and run with it for as long as we possibly can. Because it's such a beautiful country, such beautiful people, such beautiful culture, everything, and it's such a shame to let it go because of a corrupt regime. But that just goes to show what a regime can do to a people, and how facade can really psychologically, mentally, physically, you know, hinder the development of a country. Let's not let them let's not let them have that upper hand. Let's, you know, we'll do whatever we can. On our end, I feel like it's just continuing the spread of knowledge, educating people.
Control the narrative.
Control the narrative. That's a beautiful way of saying. Control the narrative. Let people know what's actually happening. Educate yourself. Just go and just learn. Just learn about. Just sit down with your parents. You don't need BBC. You don't need CNN. Just go sit down
and just
with
think
your parents,
about
your grandparents. Just what was it like Zaman? And just if you put two and two together in little historical events that happen, you come to realize you're like, oh, that's why things are like that. That's why it's like that. You know, it's. All you need is just stories, and they'll give you the real facts because they lived through it, and they understand what's happening. They understand why it's come to the way it is. CNN's not going to do anything. Just go sit down with your mom. Mom is better than CNN, okay?
If you get a chance with your حبوبة or جدو, that's even better, you know. ده حيدوكم you know, these are the OGs. ديل الناس اللي عارفين what's up for real, so.
Yeah.
And just think about it. إحنا كم وهم كم. Like they can't break us. They really can't, even if they tried.
Yeah.
And right now they're trying. So.
Yeah, they're really trying, but.
Well, look at us, we're here.
Yeah.
You know?
We're here. We are.
Guess we can play the video now.
Yeah, so we'll play the video in full. And because there's like music in the back. It's really nice when you listen to it fully.
على أجنحة الفجر ترفرف فوق علامات على أجنحة الفجر ترفرف فوق علامات من بيناتك ما تطلع شوطاتك من بيناتك ما تطلع شوطاتك يا شعب اللهبت ثوريتك يا شعب اللهبت ثوريتك انت تلقى مرادك والفينيتك
قوة الوجيه هو راسك قوة الوجيه هو راسك حركات حركات هو راسك حركات الوجيه هو راسك جنن القناة هو راسك جنن القناة هو راسك عظم القناة هو راسك حركات حركات هو راسك قوة الوجيه هو راسك قوة الوجيه هو راسك حركات حركات هو راسك حركات الوجيه هو راسك جنن القناة هو راسك جنن القناة هو راسك عظم القناة هو راسك حركات حركات هو راسك
أجمعك بخرب المؤسسات وتبشق المنشآت ده جزء شنو؟ ده الخونة ده العملاء ده المرتزقة ما تدوم فرقة انت عشان عصايتك احنا ما جايين عشانك انت يا بوليس انا ما عملت لك شيء انا ما طالب بحقي انا ما طالب بالعيش انا ما طالب بلقمة العيش يا عصايا ليه
الكبيرة قامت قوات الشرطة والأمن بتفريقها بالقوة وكذلك استخدمت الغاز المسيل للدموع بالإضافة إلى الرصاص الحي وفقا لمصادر طبية التي أكدت وقوع عدد من الحالات والإصابات بعضها خطرة بعضها طلق ناري في الرأس.
احنا فرقنا اي زول وقف هنا عمل العدو يا بنعيش احرار يا بنموت رجال على أجنحة الفجر ترفرف فوق علامات على أجنحة الفجر ترفرف فوق علامات من بيناتك ما تطلع شوطاتك من بيناتك ما تطلع شوطاتك يا شعب اللهبت ثوريتك
قوة الوجيه هو راسك حركات حركات هو راسك
بحكي أنا بطالب العيش أنا بطالب لقمة العيش يا عصايا ليه
الكبيرة قامت قوات الشرطة والأمن بتفريقها بالقوة، وكذلك استخدمت الغاز المسيل للدموع بالإضافة إلى الرصاص الحي وفقا لمصادر طبية التي أكدت وقوع عدد من الحالات والإصابات، بعضها خطرة بعضها طلق ناري في الرأس.
إحنا فرقنا أي زول وقف هنا عمل العدو، يا بنعيش أحرار يا بنموت رجال.
على أجنحة الفجر ترفرف فوق أعناقك، على أجنحة الفجر ترفرف فوق أعناقك، من بيناتك بامت تطلع شوثاتك، من بيناتك بامك تطلع شوثاتك، يا شعب اللهبت ثوريتك، يا شعب اللهبت ثوريتك، انت تلقى مراتك والفينيتك.
قوة المجيد هو أسلم، قوة المجيد هو أسلم، حركات حركات هو أسلم، حركات تكتيك هو أسلم، جنن القناة هو أسلم، جنن القناة هو أسلم، عظم القناة هو أسلم، حركات حركات هو أسلم، قوة المجيد هو أسلم، قوة المجيد هو أسلم، حركات حركات هو أسلم، حركات تكتيك هو أسلم، جنن القناة هو أسلم، جنن القناة هو أسلم، عظم القناة هو أسلم، حركات حركات هو أسلم.
أجمعك بخرب المؤسسات وبشق المنشآت، ده جزء شنو؟ ده الخونة، ده العملاء، ده المرتزقة، ما تدوم فرقة. انت عشان عصايتك، احنا ما جايين عشانك انت يا بوليس. انا ما عملت لك شيء، انا بطالب بحقي، انا بطالب بالعيش، انا بطالب بلقمة العيش يا عصايا ليه.
الكبيرة قامت قوات الشرطة والأمن بتفريقها بالقوة، وكذلك استخدمت الغاز المسيل للدموع بالإضافة إلى الرصاص الحي وفقا لمصادر طبية التي أكدت وقوع عدد من الحالات والإصابات، بعضها خطرة بعضها طلق ناري في الرأس.
احنا فرقنا اي زول وقف هنا عمل العدو، يا بنعيش احرار يا بنموت رجال.
Okay. So yeah, basically الصورة دي, like we said earlier, كل الناس ديل ناس ضحوا بحياتهم for us for البلد. والصورة is very ironic. I found it very funny لأنه عامل وشه كده زي الزول يعني قرفان وزهجان من البلد كده وخلاص مع إنه كل زول مطلع يعني محرق روحه and it's like he's just done with everybody while all these people like a compilation of all these pictures are people that died because of him under his regime. So it's like it's the perfect picture to put.
Oh, this is a fraction of people that have done
This is just a fraction of people.
It's just recent people that have done
Just zoom in.
I don't know if you can like actually zoom in here, but
I could see them.
yeah, it's
very moving. It's such a powerful picture.
blow it up in your.
and these are all like this one right here. I don't know if تقدروا تشوفوها بس أنا شايفاه. I remember this guy's story was one of the first stories I read on Twitter. Lemon, they were saying like he got hit. They were taking him to mustashfa to kind of like يساعدوه because it was a bullet, and they didn't have the equipment to help him. بعد ذاك I don't remember the whole story. المهم إنه I just remember the picture because it's that picture they got him talking, saying like كان بيستشهد خلاص, like just saying إنه like you know. I don't want to use, you know, bad language or say stuff that I don't even
Oh yeah, we were just saying earlier. It's like there must be something psychologically wrong with an individual if they don't have the capacity for rahma, for just the basic kindness, just basic understanding.
I think it's just stupid.
No, but they're stupid and then there's just inhumane, right? Like there are a lot of nice, stupid people. Right? Like, you can be stupid and nice at the same. But like there has to be something hajafaka or something off that you just completely lack compassion, mercy, love, kind. Like you know, you aren't born into this world being a hateful person. You're not, and it's.
Just the fact that he can drop or have bombs dropped on people in the Nuba Mountains, and then when he has a press conference, nobody wants to show up, so he gets mad about that.
Yeah.
That kind of shows you what kind of person he is. Like, that's what you're mad about, bro? You just murdered, like, how many people?
Oh, wait. He's so mad that he decided to go and throw tear gas in people's houses.
Yeah.
Oh, and in hospitals, because what people are not listening to.
Like, he's so petty.
He's so petty, right? Like,
oh, my God, yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but the world does not revolve around you.
And what's like, he thinks that it does. That's what I think. I think
And like, خلاص, you made $9 billion. خلاص يا أخي اكسح. I guarantee you, if you just
go
leave,
chill.
Ain't nobody gonna say nothing.
No, we
Just
want
leave.
you. I'm مرتاح. Go.
And then
chill.
Or he could keep the $9 billion if he doesn't like. I'm positive this guy's cursed, bro.
I think
There's a reason why he's not
walks is a
supposed
walk
to have
of
kids.
shame, bro.
That lineage, somebody up there said that lineage cannot go on.
Yeah.
You know? It cannot go on. This guy is.
He needs to end at this one. He needs to
Yeah.
end. Yeah. No, subhanallah, it's true. It's true.
الزول ده متمسك بالسلطة لأنه ما عنده خيار تاني.
ما عنده بالضبط كده.
يعني زي ما ذكروا قبل هو عنده مكتوب للمحكمة الجنائية عرفت؟ هو حاليا كرئيس وعنده حصانة دبلوماسية تتنقل من دولة لدولة بيكون حتى الدول بتكون خايفة انه البشير يجي عرفت انه ناس المحكمة الجنائية بتطالبون يعني مثلا كان زي زيارته لجنوب افريقيا جاكوب زوما حاليا ده من الاسباب اللي طلعوه برا الرئاسة انه كانوا البشير الجماعة سلموا لناس المحكمة الجنائية فهو عارف انه اذا نزل من الرئاسة خلاص
خش السجن طوالي
خلاص
ولو ما خش السجن people aren't gonna let him walk.
ما حيقدر يطلع برا السودان لانه حيتقبل اذا قعد في السودان الشعب السوداني كله خلاص ما حيمشي وين عشان كده هو حيتمسك بالسلطة لآخر نفس عرفت؟
Well, I'm gonna say 3 weeks ago he had a chance. Right now we got no chance.
Yeah.
3 weeks ago he could have gone out of it peacefully. But
Because we gave him the chance.
Thank you.
I did now a little heads up. This is what's gonna happen. Just to let you know, this is how it's gonna go down.
we're
ده
pretty,
تقعد
we're pretty
وديناه
forgivable people. I mean, you know.
لو اديناه
We
فرصه
really
حق
are.
الناس ده حيضيع.
We really are
Yeah,
forgivable.
yeah, fair. That's-
After all the stuff he done.
No, as I said, 3 weeks ago, he had an option.
Yeah.
As of today, there is no way
I
out
don't-
for him.
yeah, I don't think-
يعني انت حتطلع ميت بس.
Yeah.
Either him or his regime or any of the bastards out there. They have to pay. Like, look at this picture here. They have to pay.
Yeah, that
Consequences.
وديل الناس ديل بس الناس اللي ظهروا في الميديا في آلاف تانيين.
Oh my God.
30 years, all these kids that didn't get education, all these people around Sudan, all this non-development. Imagine how Sudan would have been in these 30 years.
Yeah.
Look at Singapore. Look at Malaysia.
Don't go way too far. Look at our neighbor.
Ethiopia.
The last 8 years.
But don't go too far.
Mad. Ethiopia, because I'm very proud of them. Why? They just have, which in our history as African people, this is not like a rarity. You know what I mean? But they just had their first, is it the first female president?
Yeah.
In Ethiopia? That's huge.
Yeah.
Like they deserve praise for that because at the end of the day, that's moving towards, you know what I mean, a more conscious type of government, you know, where there's equal opportunity for everybody. That's amazing in Africa right now. For an African country,
Sorry, you didn't follow that.
Ethiopia just had their first female president.
What was that?
Just not too long ago.
They lost the Muslim guy.
No, Abiy Ahmed, he's
Yeah.
like, he's a prime minister.
Oh, he's a prime.
prime
Okay,
minister.
okay. Yeah, he's doing a lot of good stuff. I've been following him, and I saw this last how they are mistreated. The Ethiopians when they go outside trying to get their
Oh yeah,
their
when
bread
they went
and all
out
of
on the
that.
streets. Yeah.
So he issued this statement. He said, "We will return all our Ethiopian girls, women, everyone who's working outside, mistreated or whatever, and we'll bring them back to Ethiopia." And that was really like this. Something has to be done like ages ago.
Definitely.
Like we see all these videos how people are mistreated in so many places. I don't want to say a certain place, but
no, great point, man.
yeah, like these are like we can take these as models. We need to do it as well, right? Like look at Turkey, look at Malaysia, and all of that. And the time is now. Our time is now. We have to move. We have to act.
Let's get this bread.
Yeah.
So our liberation is gonna be from Africa. I wholeheartedly feel that because eventually this is one of the richest continents in the world, you know, if not the richest continent in the world. Can you imagine if all the African countries was just united? What would happen in that continent?
Yeah.
That's why they divided.
Scary.
Exactly.
Africa.
Strategic plan. Strategic historical plan. But
Oh, this was great.
I mean, I think the main thing to take away from this is that, you know, look, I don't even want to, let me just fast forward. I don't even want to, no. Almost getting bigger every time I fast forward. Okay, let me just get to a night. That's nice. I don't we have, it's to leave here with optimism, not to be pessimistic. Again, pessimism doesn't get us anywhere. Let's be optimistic. Let's keep the conversation going. Control the narrative, as you said, and just, I don't know, continue to just keep doing what we're doing and standing by them as much as we possibly can. There's really not much we can do other than that.
Educate the world.
Educate the world. Educate the world and let them know what's happening. Let them know why it's happening. Educate yourself first. Educate yourself first. Get
Don't
your
kill the
facts straight.
hashtag.
Don't kill the hashtag.
Kill the hashtag.
And just, you
Oh,
know,
was it you asking about it earlier? It's right here.
The Sudan revolts one? Yeah.
It said Madinah Sudan. I don't know what it is. Anyways.
Just for reference so that we can tell others.
Yeah, we'll send it somewhere.
Yeah.
We'll send it somewhere.
But yeah, so for the Shabab Talk, so this was the first kind of topic. What do you guys...
Sorry.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
before we conclude this topic, just want to say a couple of things about the current topic we're still talking about. Ask yourself and demand an honest answer from yourself. What would you do to help?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna start off with contacting your MPs. All right, contacting the Canadian media outlet, and before you do that, of course, you gotta educate yourself. But your MPs would be your best options. We've created so many templates, letters. All right, just bombard them, literally. gonna start off with sending a physical letter, emails after emails, phone calls after phone calls. All right, that's your best options right now. We need to shed the lights on what's going on in Sudan from an outside world media outlets. Okay, and ask yourself, how could you help? I know we're Sudanese Canadian. All right, I do not want to say we got a foot up there and we got a foot here, but how could you help? I mean, we know for a fact and we truly trust this regime. It's in, dying days per se. Okay? In any way, shape or form, everyone is capable of helping. The issue is how and when and with what. Okay? So, looking forward for everyone to, answer that question and, collectively we'll come up as, to help our people back home in Sudan.